Your glasses are making me ponder your sexuality.
Stay flexing.
So, you want a beginner's bike? You want to scare the shit out of your parents? You're gonna rev it high, dump the clutch, and loop it in the movie theater parking lot because you told your friends you could wheelie. Your exhaust will be so loud and disorientating, even alpacas in Bolivia will be sick of your shit. You're gonna start telling girls you ride bikes and realize none of them actually give a shit. Oh, that's cool, I guess. Damn it, at least you'll still have your bike. But which one do you choose? The Kawasaki Ninja 300 or the Yamaha, oh shit, we better get some of that market share, R3? On the surface, it's a pretty tough choice. Kinda like picking between Valia or Mystic. No one chooses instinct. The styling of both of these bikes is obviously intended to excite the boys and concern their parents. In my personal opinion, the Ninja is definitely the more handsome one, but the R3 is certainly a looker as well. They are simple bikes in sophisticated clothing, however, much like most university students. No fancy electronics or rider aids on either of them. Both of these bikes have aftermarket exhausts on them, the Ninja having the Kaufman Shorty, and the R3 having a $50 Chinese rip-off Shorty designed for a completely different bike. Thanks, eBay. Although the Ninja is the better dressed of the two, the R3's slick haircut and resume shows that it has more potential. It has the lightest curb weight, weighing 11 pounds less than the Ninja, as well as having 20 more cc. Fucking cheat. However, the Ninja has a bigger fuel tank and the highest redline. So what do these bikes like to ride?
Right then, the Kawasaki Ninja 300. Oh yeah, it's good to be back on one of these. So then, the Ninja 300 is obviously the descendant of the Kawasaki Ninja 250, a bike which combined ultra lightweight performance with absolutely no power.
Although the Ninja is not the fastest bike in the world, it wants you to treat it like it is. It thanks you for thrashing the fuck out of it. It wants you to hold the throttle wide open all the time and bounce it off the red line through every gear change.
This engine loves to rev. That's what it wants to do. Anything above 9,000 RPM has a really good power band.
Here is the best way I can describe how this engine behaves. Nah, come on. Bit more. Fucking yeah!
Probably the biggest advantage for the Kawasaki 300 over the Yamaha R3 is the fuel mileage. This gets about 60 to 65 to the gallon. This bike will save you more money than Geico.
Not only is this bike a hell of a lot of fun and will let you do things to it other bikes wouldn't, it's also a perfect economy bike. Those skinny tires make swerving around Prius drivers and bad vibes very easy, and the handling is superb. Seriously, it doesn't get much better than these bikes when it comes to handling.
A bit of a downside to lightweight bikes like this is that the fucking light sensors don't get activated.
Alright, let's hop in the R3 and see how it compares.
Now, the owner of the Yamaha and the Kawasaki have ridden each other's bikes, and they both say that the Kawasaki is the faster one, which is strange, and it really does sort of get back to the sort of difference between torque and horsepower. This bike feels faster because it just has more torque. It has a much wider power band, but the Ninja 300 has a huge kick around 9 to 11,000 RPM, sort of like a Kawasaki VTEC. It also has one less gallon in its tank.
The R3 felt much more serious, like the death of Harambe. The engine was also far less BDSM than the Ninja, if that makes any sense, and it had much more bottom end pull. The bike as a whole felt very well put together, and it has an amazing amount of front end feel when you're going through the corners.
Again, much like the Ninja 300, this is also a very comfortable bike. However, this tank loves to bash your balls up. I don't know what's up with Yamaha and cooking shins and bashing testicles. The R6 was just the same, so was the R1. Man!
Although it's not as fast as the Ninja in outright speed, that extra little bit of torque really makes it feel like you're going places. Sort of like your freshman year of college. But after being overtaken by your bros Tune Miata, dealing with payments, and realizing an FZ07 was in the same price range, you'd really wish you thought it through. And do seriously think it through. Hey, Hammy's buyer's information. Too many people that want to get into bikes end up buying one of these and then trying to get rid of it after 6 months to move up to something else. And the problem is that these bikes do not hold their value. I know that's how it is for most Japanese bikes, but it's especially true with these. Just make sure you gotta get your use out of them first, and do be prepared to lose some money. Horsepower and top speed, yeah! Let's finally talk about that. I can already smell a fight brewing in the comments section. Sort of like preteens arguing about Call of Duty and Battlefield. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Kawasaki's first to go. 36.9 horsepower and 17.6 foot-pounds of torque. Now the R3, 36.1 horsepower and 18.6 foot-pounds of torque. So here is my conclusion. Neither of these bikes are exactly pussy destroyers, but they are the perfect first step on your motorcycling journey. The fastest, best looking, and most economical goes to the Kawasaki, and the R3 has more torque, comfy riding position, and I felt handled a bit better. But the real question is, which would I buy with my own money? I would buy the Yamaha R3. Bet you didn't see that coming. Ha! Punk. But in all seriousness, I would choose the Yamaha R3 over the Ninja 300. What it really came down to for me were like the little things. I preferred the Yamaha's dashboard. I preferred how its engine was more focused on the mid-range rather than the top end. I know that the Ninja was technically the fastest, but like, what's the point to having the fastest 300? That's sort of like saying, ha! I have the world's biggest small penis. You're not going to impress anyone. However, I am by no means bashing or taking away from the Ninja. This is just my personal preference. They are both amazing bikes, and both definitely need to have a look at. Alright then guys, that is it for this week's video. Sorry it took so long for this review to finish up. I got very sick last week. Like bad. I was sick. Sick of life. No, I was genuinely sick. Quickly before we go, stickers. I have them, yes. I can't give them away for free for too much longer, since I am a broke teenager and I do need to start making some money out of this stuff. They will be for sale for $3 soon once I get everything sorted out in a place where I can sell them, or my PayPal account and stuff. That's all gonna come within the next few weeks. Also, I am thinking about doing a Q&A. So if you would like me to do an official Q&A, ask me if I can do it. I don't know. Alright then everyone, that is it for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.